All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pawan sir, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. Akshay, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Off air, we've talked about so many things, and I personally want to go ahead and get started by asking you the question that everybody has in mind. Pawan sir, के हुँदैछ हाम्रो economy? What's going on?
I've been talking about this for last 5-6 months.
Yeah.
Before anybody envisaged, I was the one who was talking about it, and everybody was laughing. I said, let's not head towards Sri Lanka. We are not going to be Sri Lanka for sure, but at least if we don't take the necessary steps right now, it is going to be a problem. So the problem number one is remittance is going down.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, we are surviving on remittances. Second is imports has gone up so much. We all know about all these things. But now is the time to take the corrective measures, and that too drastic corrective measures. One, to increase the remittance. For that, we need to do few things. Number one, incentivize them to bring it to Nepal. There's no incentive. People go to where they are staying, and then it is transferred easily. They don't have to pay anything on top. On the contrary, they get 1 or 2 rupees more than the official rate. So what we need to do is incentivize them for saving it into Nepal. What happens is everything is coming and it is going for consumption. There's no saving. What we need is to, if they can save, it will be their future is secured, their family's future is secured, as well as the country's future is also secured. So for that, we need in IPO, if we can do 10% reservation for them. Any new IPO is coming, if the money is coming from the banking channel, then it is reserved for them. They will get the 10% allotment out of the entire, or maybe 20. Why not 20? So this is one. Second, they should be also enrolled to the social security which government has. So that will also, they are also secured once they come back. And third is 1% extra we banks are paying to them as a interest over the rate, whatever is the fixed deposit rate, we are paying 1% extra. What government should do is add another 1 or 2% on top of that. And the fourth one is encourage them to have the bank account before they go, and their employer should be encouraged to send from their account to the bank's account directly.
No middleman in
no
between.
Middleman, no nothing is involved. Directly on, in our one of the factory, I'll give you the example to make it very clear, that we have almost 4,000 plus labor. If we start paying one by one, it takes a lot of time. So what we do is we instruct the bank to give, their payroll, give them the payroll, and then tell them to put to their accounts, everybody's account. Similarly, the employer outside Nepal can send the instruction to the Nepalese bank, send the money, and also send the instruction, pay to this account this much. It will be a very easy transaction. There will be no charge, nothing. Bank will absorb all the charges, and money will come to Nepal in one shot. It will be very transparent. So these are the measures we need to do for the remittance. On the other hand, for the import, Nepal is a unique country. We cannot compare ourselves to our neighbors like India or Pakistan or Bangladesh or any other country. We have seen during the COVID that the effect in Nepal was very minimal. The moment people reached their home, nobody was without food and shelter. Like in India, 50 lakhs or maybe more, I don't remember the figure, were homeless. They had nothing, no home, no shelter, no food, nothing. So in Nepal, it's a unique situation. The consumption you can see in last 2 years has gone up. During the COVID also, the consumption of everything has gone up.
Yeah.
All the imports has gone up. And during this current year has gone berserk. In 7 months, we have imported more than the last year's total amount. So what we need to do is we have to curtail it, but not the way it is happening right now. This is just a very temporary measure. We have to see that how we can start import substitution industries, including agriculture. $3.5 billion, almost $3.5 billion worth of imports will be happening during this year, only for agriculture, which can be, done in less than 1 year. More than 50% of it can be grown in Nepal in 1 year. But the problem is the protection. We have only 5% of protection. By giving subsidy or grant is not going to make the changes because it is not reaching to the desired people.
Yeah.
So what needs to be done is protect the, make the imports more costlier, protect the farmers. This is what is needed. Right now is only 5%. It has to go up to 20% minimum. Minimum 20%. And I will give you one example. Maybe my friends will not like it, but I have to give this example. We have done for sugar. 40% protection is there for the farmers, isn't it? It is also for the farmers. Then my question is, because the lobby was strong, the sugar manufacturing lobby was strong, that's why it has been given. Farmers cannot reach to the government and ask what they really want. They don't know what they really want. What they want is simple, is good seeds, the fertilizer, the agro equipments like tractor, thresher, etc. on time so that they can sow on time and then they can harvest on time. So, and at least 20 to 30% margin on what they are producing so that they can take care of their household. But we are not understanding here one thing is farmers are our annadata. We forgotten that. Unless the country, entire country, because your audience is the main, I believe, you told me 18 to 35. Yeah. They are the one who can change this concept. They are the one who are the, people say they are the future, but I say they are the present of this country.
Nice.
So they need to make the changes in their thinking that, okay, if we see made in, not made in Nepal, we are not going to buy that. We will prefer to buy our Suntala, which is a little bit not so good looking, our Xiao, which is maybe a little bit not the red, ripe red color, which is shining, but we will still buy that. And we will try not to buy the imported stuff in food, at least in food and in clothing. If we can do this, we can change it. But I have I got a little carried away. The thing coming back to the liquidity crisis and balance of payment crisis. So this is for the agro, we need to do 20%. Same for the import substitution industries. Because the protection is very less. Wherever the protection is, those industries are thriving.
Yeah.
Let's say, take example of cement. Why cement is thriving? That's very good for the country that cement industries have thrived. But why? Because the protection is 35%. The import duty is 35%. Similarly, the duty in steel industry is 30%. Wherever the protection is there, those industries are thriving.
And wherever the protection is not there, it's not thriving at all.
Yeah. And the question told by the even the business leader, they say that if we increase the duty in agriculture, महँगाई अझै बढ्छ, त्यसले चाहिँ हाउसहोल्डलाई गाह्रो पर्छ. त हामीले सिमेन्ट पनि त महँगो किन्यौँ नि त. हामी चिनी पनि त आज महँगो किनिराखेका छौँ नि त. So then why we are not taking care of two-thirds population? More than 20 million people are today also doing agriculture only. Their bread and butter is agriculture.
True.
So we need to protect them for protecting ourselves. Otherwise, the future is definitely what your concern is going to be true.
It's going to come true.
Yes.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come true.
Yeah.
Pawan sir, why? I just want to understand this. Again, we're the same age. We're almost the same age. Where did it start from? Where did it? कताबाट चाहिँ हामीले import गर्न थाल्यौँ, and we always constantly started getting everything from abroad. Where did the cycle start from? If you just want to elaborate a little bit.
Sure, I can. See, when I was young, we
Yeah.
used to export jute, we used to export rice, we used to export pulses, and we used to import very little for our survival, I mean food items. And slowly and gradually we started importing more because we were started getting more grants. In dollar term, we started, as a Nepal, we started getting more grants. That was the starting point. And then the second largest, thrust was given by the remittance.
Yeah.
When our labor started going abroad and we started reaching to 1 billion and 2 billion and garda 8 billion plus, around 8 billion. So यो के भयो भने हाम्रो नेपालको the entire thing became like import-based economy. Because I was the industrialist, all the time I was going against the wind bano, against the stream bano. I was always walking against the stream. And whenever I used to go to Arth Mantralaya, I was always uninvited. And the importers were invited because they are the one who were paying revenues. So they were the blue-eyed boys for the country. They were the, our country, our lawmakers, our finance ministry thought that they are the real stakeholders of the country. That's where the problem started. Unless you recognize the people who are really want to make the country, you are producing in Nepal, you are helping the economy by giving more jobs and also producing and exporting. Even if you are not exporting, at least you are doing import replacement, substitution of the import. Unless you do that, this is not going to change. So that is the triggering point to answer your question. That is the triggering point. The country was very happy. All the people were very happy. We were thinking we are growing, our GDP is growing by 6-7%. We are very happy. But actually, Western world was telling us that this is wrong. What you are doing is wrong. Because you are just depending on the remittances. The day it goes down, you will be doomed.
Yeah.
So we have started testing that right now. We have started realizing right now. It's not too late even now. Right. Even if we change now, things will be changed.
I had Mahabir Pun at the podcast, and
a great guy.
He's a fantastic gem of a guy, and what he said, I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. He said, I don't need any help. Yeah. I don't need any money. I just need an idea. And then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to have my team work on that idea. Few things that he had said was, industries चाहिन्छ देश बनाउनलाई. हामीले हाम्रो उत्पादन आफै गर्न सक्नुपर्छ. कतिसम्म गर्ने भन्ने होला, तर सुरुवात त गर्नु पर्यो. प्रयास त गर्नु पर्यो कतै न कतैबाट. He had said a few numbers where, there's so many things that we get and things that we could create within our country. A solid example is Reliance Spinning Mill. A solid example, which I was reading about, which I knew way back as well. That's a solid example as well, which I'd love to get into that. I just want to understand where the Golyan Group started from, and I was reading this, and which I was telling both of you off air as well. अडियो क्यासेट्स भनेर मैले त्यो शब्द पढ्ने बित्तिकै मलाई कस्तो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ लागेको थियो कि बिकज आई कम फ्रम आई स्टार्टेड माई करियर फ्रम द रेडियो वेयर वी डिन्ट प्ले अडियो क्यासेट्स बट एट क्रस द्याट त्यो समय बितिसकेको थियो म सिडिजमा चाहिँ मैले जोइन गरेको थिएँ होइन तर विराटनगरमा होइन अडियो क्यासेट वाज अल्सो अ पार्ट अफ द लेगेसी इफ यु जस्ट वान्ट टु सेयर अ लिल बिट अबाउट द लेगेसी
See, what happened when I was studying, I was almost nearing to completion of my undergraduation.
Yeah.
That is BCom, त्यो बेलामा BCom भनिन्थ्यो, diploma पछि भयो त्यो. My father came out with the idea that, okay, we can't have big industries because there's no treaty between India and Nepal. Treaty has expired and legally we were not supposed to export anything to India. Nepal market was very small, so that we can't have big industries. Our textile industry was also closed that time. So we reopened the textile industry during that time. And that time he has put 4 or 5, I would say, assembling industry, but not exactly assembling industry, but to start with was like a assembling industry. So we took license for 4 or 5 items. I was watching from outside and I was helping him wherever he needed my help. That's about it. So audio cassette was one of them. We used to make the shell, the outer shell. We used to, by the granules, we used to make the shells, and also outer and inner cells. And the tape was imported in a big, what do you call it? A big spool.
Yeah.
And then there were machines which were cutting it into the small spools, and then it was done. So that was the whole audio cassette thing. And then we started doing even the recording. Recording also we did that time. There was no, for doing the Hindi songs or English songs, there was no Copyright Act in Nepal that time.
Yeah.
So we used to copy those songs and used to do that. I'm telling you what has happened. Then we started taking we took the rights of Kusume Rumal, film like Kusume Rumal, which is made in Nepal. Uddhav Paudel is the producer, he's my friend as well. So we did that, and we did few more. Then Music Nepal also came after us, and then we stopped by then because we wanted to get into bigger industries by then, and then we did for few years. There were a lot of industries like that. We did zip fastener, this one.
Even garments too.
Garments was a proper industry.
Yeah,
garments and textile was the proper industry for sure. So.
But there were other things too, you know. Try किन नगर्ने, or what was the thought? त्यतिखेरको the thought process के थियो?
No, thought process यही थियो कि यो सानो सानो इन्डस्ट्री गरौँ, अनि त्यसमा चाहिँ धेरै मेसिन चाहिँदैन, लेबर धेरै चाहिन्छ, तर मेसिन धेरै चाहिँदैन, इन्भेस्टमेन्ट धेरै नगरौँ, सानो इन्भेस्टमेन्ट गरेर नेपालमा लेबरको अवेलेबिलिटी धेरै राम्रो छ, तिनीहरूलाई युज गरौँ. We did an umbrella factory as well.
Umbrella factory?
Umbrella assembling factory. So what we used to do is we used to bring the printed fabric, त्यसलाई कटिङ गरेर त्यसको प्यानल बनाउनु पर्थ्यो, प्यानल बनाएर स्टिचिङ गर्नु पर्थ्यो, त्यसपछि त्यो डन्डी र त्यो अरू जुन हुन्छ रिप्सहरू त्यसलाई चाहिँ एसेम्बल गर्नु पर्थ्यो. So we had in those days 500 people working for that umbrella factory. Machines were very limited. You need stitching machines, you need small tools and things like that, a very small pressing machine. All those machines were only there. So these are the kind of industries he thought about, and those were very good during that time for Nepal, because the labor was very cheap that time in Nepal, and there was hardly any industry were giving the employment.
Yeah.
So those days also in our factory we had 2,000 plus laborers working for us like these industry. Then we also started Pashmina industry. We used to make tassel by hand. About 1,500 people were doing tasseling for the pashmina. You know what tassel means?
Yeah, I know.
To side ko phurka
Oh,
bancha
oh,
nahi.
oh, oh,
That we had that. So all the main idea was to grow with people around you, not alone. So this is the difference of thinking. When you grow with others, it is for permanent. When you grow alone, you are alone.
so well said. Akshay, what do you think of that?
No, I was just thinking,
Sorry, we've been talking about so many different
no,
things.
no, I've obviously heard these stories. As he was repeating his experience, I think it's a thought process. Like he says, for me, when I finished my MBA in 2014,
Yeah.
I came here. He asked me to help in Reliance. I said, I'll give it a year. If I don't like it, I'll leave.
Yeah.
I gave it a year. I hated it. I
Didn't like it at all.
absolutely hated it. I said, what is this machine? So many old people here. I have to go to like remote places to, try and market the yarn, etc. So I left.
Yeah.
I left the country, man. I went and I tried to do a startup somewhere else. That obviously bombed. And then I didn't have any room to negotiate with him. So I came back in 2017. Then I gave it a good go.
Back to Reliance.
Back to Reliance. What I have realized is that industry or manufacturing of anything, whether you do textiles, whether you cassettes or anything, it's very intrinsically rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel that you are contributing to something that is larger than you or your family. So whether it's through job creation, whether it's through value creation because you sell to a business, or whatever, or whether it's through the larger economic contribution. So, since we're talking about Reliance, I'll give you a very small example. My CEO, who's now retired, he used to, whenever we would take rounds of the factories and around the factories, every single time, and I would go there twice a month, I still do, he would say the same thing, and it comes with pride that when they started 25 years ago, it was a barren land. There was no, community around it. And now there are restaurants, there are households, there are shops, there's a supermarket, there's a bhat bhatini, etc. He said, this is because we developed this industry here 25 years ago. We give employment to over 4,000 people.
Yeah.
And then because of their income, they have been able to affect the society around them. So this is the pride that, people who have been with Reliance or other industries since the beginning, that they carry. And for me, I'm just happy to be a part of that ecosystem.
No, that's great. And one thing that I personally want to add is you've studied abroad. You studied in Spain. You've studied in the US. The idea is this is always so fascinating for me too. Every time I go abroad, again, I go for a bit. The ideas that you generate, the experiences that you gain, and then you come back and you try to utilize that in the things that you do. How has that experience been?
No, it is, man, because we live in one part of the world wherein historically as well exposure has not been so great. So people like you and me who go visit outside, we're blessed to be able to go outside and interact with different people with different experiences. So whenever we get that, it is up to us to bring it back and try and implement it somewhere, whether it's in business, whether it's in some advice to a friend or whatever it is, So we do that. I have done that through my MBA. I have implemented a few things in Reliance, which has helped. But it's a continuous process. The learning has to be continuous because we have a lot to learn as a society and as a country in various different ways. So, whenever I get a chance to implement something that I have learned, I try it out.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Pawan, I wanted to ask something. Again, there are thousands of things that I'll ask. What was the first business that you were a part of within your family? First business that you were a part of, and first business that you started by yourself, that you decided that, okay, this is something that I will do. I will take the risk.
Okay. See, when I passed out from my school, then my father gave me the first assignment. That's not the business, but assignment. That is very important so that because your audience needs to hear this. What happened? He gave me the accounts books, which used to be like so thick those days. It was not computer, nothing, handwritten.
Uh-huh.
And he gave me the similar empty, khali kitabaru as well. It was so thick, 300 pages, one book and journal, cash book and ledger.
Huh.
So ledger he has not given me. The old ledger he has not given me. He gave me the journal and the cash book. He said, now you copy this. I couldn't say anything to him. We used to be like, those days we used to respect a lot and were a little scared also. So भित्रबाट त रिस उठिरहेको थियो त्यही पनि I did that, होइन. And it took me almost 1 month to copy the entire 2 books, one by one. And then he gave me another ledger, empty ledger. He gave me in the beginning itself. He said, now you do all the entry by yourself. And how it is done, I will teach you.
Yeah.
He showed me the old ledger and he told me how to do it. You do one and then you put the page number where this entry has gone. In front of that cash book also you put a page number of the ledger. So that took me another 15-20 days.
Yeah.
I did that. Then finally he said, now you make a trial balance out of this. So ledger you have completed, and because for checking you have to make a trial balance.
Yeah.
Trial balance has to match. Both side figure has to match. So I did the trial balance. It was not matching. There was small difference. I said 5-7 rupees difference. What difference does it make? No, it can't be. It has to match. So then it took me another 2-3 days. In the night also I was working, like my whole holiday was gone for a toss. But after doing that, the kind of knowledge I had, even now if any balance sheet comes in front of me, I can pinpoint and tell where is the problem. In my college, when I entered, you see, the professor used to tell me, you come and teach the class. You have the practical knowledge, you come and teach. Because the first day when he gave the homework and I did that, and then he asked me, how can you do this? And I did one more chapter, and then that was the case. So that was my first experience with my father. And then I really liked that. After when my professor appreciated, then I liked his way of teaching, or I would say way of explaining things.
Yeah.
And then I started helping him in those industries, assembling industries, as I told you. He used to give me assignment. Then slowly and gradually he left everything, started leaving everything to me. My brother, who is elder than me, he is more technical side, so he used to take care of the technicalities of the industries. And I was the one who was buying the raw material, opening the LCs in the bank, going to the custom doing the clearance, and then selling also. I used to travel to everywhere and do the selling as well. So the way I learned it, that helped me. Then the first business I set up was of the another textile industry only, because we had that textile industry, I already said, Shah Udyog Private Limited.
Yeah.
So we restarted with help of my father. Then we put another textile industry, and then after that I did this Reliance Spinning about 25 years ago. 26.
It's been
26 years in operation and 3-4 years of preparation. So 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
30 years ago. And I would mention here that there's no strike for last 26 years of operation.
No strike, zero.
Zero. This is the only example, not only in Nepal, but our neighboring countries as well.
How is that possible?
This is possible. We made it possible. Only with one thing, that what I said earlier, you bring your people along with you. You take care of them, they will take care of you. You give them the ownership, sense of belongingness, sense of ownership. Things will happen automatically. That's how it is. And the last 2 years, see the COVID
Yeah.
situation. People are talking. They were busy, firing people. They were busy negotiating that we will pay you half, we will pay you 40%, we will pay you 25%. People were busy doing that. Our people came together and said, we want to save our industry. Because 50 lakhs was the worth of money we were losing every day. So 17 days, on the 18th day, our industry was restarted. From there, those last 2 years were our best year.
In the past 30 years.
Last 26 years of operation. So that's how the reward is given to you by the God. Because you are taking care of the people, people take care of you.
That very well, very, very, very well put. Very, very well put. I'd like to jump back to right in the beginning. We were talking about something which is very interesting, and then we diverted to something else. Made in Nepal.
Yeah.
नेपालमा बनेको.
Yeah.
हजुरले त्यही भन्न खोज्नु भएको थियो नि होइन, अरू जहाँसुकै बने पनि होइन, त्यो एउटा त्यो सेन्स अफ बिलोङ्गिङ चाहिँ कहाँ हुँदो रहेछ भने when the funny thing is, I was in some country, I forgot, this is some time ago, and I saw a shirt, and I had bought it, and it said made in Nepal. And I could not believe that it had an S in it. I don't remember, it was Starter or some company, I can't remember what it was, but it said made in Nepal, and I was in a different country, but I was wearing a made in Nepal t-shirt, and that brought a sense of belonging. But within here, that is... What's going on when it comes to made in Nepal? What's your thought process on that?
No, before I answer your question, I want to ask you a question.
How's it?
What did you feel when you bought that shirt in there? Did you feel cheated that I bought my shirt at a very high price? I'm sure about this.
I paid in dollars. I paid in dollars. I still remember that.
Yes. So that is where the problem is. That is where the problem is. I want to tell your viewers that this is where the problem is. We don't respect our product. We don't respect our industries. We don't respect our people. Sorry to say this, but this is the fact. The moment we start loving them, respect, more than respect, I would say love them.
Yeah.
The moment we start loving our country, we do. All of us do. But what we feel proud of, when we import things or when we manufacture them. When you have your baby and when you see somebody else's baby, what is your feeling? Isn't it different? So when it is grown in Nepal, produced in Nepal, you should have that feeling of your baby. That's what exactly I told Himanshu, that my new baby has born now.
Yeah. I still remember.
Yeah. So now let me answer your question. See, we are into export industries. We have 3 industries. One is Reliance Spinning, where we are exporting to all over the world, mainly to India and Turkey.
Yeah.
We have another industry which is cashmere sweaters and pashmina shawls and other accessories, which also we export to all over the world. There is a better product available in China than us. Italy is producing much better than us. But still we are fetching more price than China, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, all these countries. Why? Because people love Nepal. Made in Nepal, on one side, we don't love our Made in Nepal logo, but people across the world, they love Made in Nepal. And no one else better than me can tell you, because they give us 10% more price over other countries. Why? Because they love Nepal. If we start loving our country, then things will be different, for sure.
So I can also
Jump in.
interject, Sanjay, I've gone to a few markets around Kathmandu, also in Nepal. Just very randomly, what happens is the end consumer, the average buyer, they have been, I would say fed information that imported products are better than Nepali products. So this is a systematic, failure that goes from the top to the bottom, meaning that from the manufacturer side, by the time it reaches the trader or the wholesaler,
Yeah.
they will always say that buy imported products. So there are reasons for that also. Sometimes they have better margins in imported products. Other times they create better margins in imported products by increasing the price and then pushing those products. So it has to be the only way to fix it is either the end consumer,
Yeah.
they start demanding the Nepali products, or somewhere these businesses, we all come together and we say, okay, no, we want to discourage products that are already available in Nepal that are equally good or even sometimes better quality, and this is what we should be buying. So it's
Just adding to this,
Yeah.
feel free, Pawan sir. भारतमा बन्छ, मर्ने गरी बन्छ, सबै थोक बन्छ. Chinaमा सबै थोक बन्छ. China produces almost everything that we need, or if they see something very unique, they'll just copy paste it and we'll have that ready in a week. How do we compete with the dragon, and compete might not be the correct word, with the dragon and the lion? How do we make our mark? That is the question that a lot of people have.
You want to answer or shall I?
no, you go ahead.
Okay. The thing is, I told you, people love us. The rest of the world, except Nepal, people love us. Huh? So the thing is, if we have a lot of unique production in Nepal, unique things in Nepal, which nowhere in the world have.
Give me a few examples, Pawan.
Like one is allo. Allo is one which nowhere in the world you have allo except in Nepal. Now we have developed, Reliance Spinning Mill have developed recently the yarn from allo. It was happening, but it was happening in a very, very small quantity by crude method. But now we have done the R&D for last 2.5 years, and now we have almost ready with it, and we have given to 3,000 manufacturers who are manufacturing here in Nepal, small manufacturer. We have given them the yarn. Now they have developed shoes out of that. They have developed socks out of that. Coat we know that jacket we used to have, but now a lot of product, including vest, shirt. It looks like linen, different variety. Daura surwal, ko kapda dekhi liera, everything. I can show you if I have. You can see this is made from allo in a Dhaka style.
Nice, really beautiful.
Yeah, this is the plain one. I'm wearing this for last 1.5 year. I have not changed. I have 2-3, which is washed every day. The color is little faded, a little bit.
Yeah.
But because I am using it for 1.5 year, even if I don't wash it every day, it doesn't smell. It doesn't get fungus or anything, because this is the characteristics of allo. We have hate kagaz, lokta. We undermine our product, for sure. There's no question about it, which happens all over the world. I don't know about all over the world. People boast about their product. We undermine our product. Lokta paper, now you have put this good paint. If you put the lokta paper wallpaper, it will look much better, cleaner. Instead of putting this carpet, if you put hamro त्यो घास पटेर अथवा केहीबाट बनेको, if you put that carpet, it will look amazing. It will be more clean, more hygienic also. So we have a lot of this. Palpali Dhaka is another item. This is branded now.
Yeah.
Palpali.
Hazir.
This is unique. Nowhere in the world. So there are a lot of products like this. We have a lot of jadi buti, herbs, which is not available anywhere in the world. Yasar Gumba is one of them. Just to name, Silajit is another product. These are not marketed properly. What is happening is we are not getting our right prices because we ourselves are undermining it. We don't know how to market it. Is not a right word. So this is the problem. we have lot of unique product. Now what we need to do is, that's why our brand motto is trying to help all these small producers to bring them together, and then we start exporting it as well as give to the local people. Raithane hamro, अब Marsi rice became famous because of Kepiba. Yeah, only because he spoke about that. What about हाम्रो सिमीको दाल, जुम्लाको अरू प्रडक्टहरू, हाम्रो धेरै रैथानी उत्पादनहरू छन्, बिस्तारै बिलोप हुँदैछन्। त त्यसलाई चाहिँ न नेपाली जनताले, अब युथले त थाहै छैन, किनभने आमा बाउले नभनेपछि कहाँबाट थाहा हुने, बजारमा किन्न पाउँदैन। अब मुस्ताङ आलु भनेर बेच्ने चाहिँ वास्तवमा मुस्ताङको आलु हो कि होइन, द्याट्स अल्सो अ बिग डाउटफुल थिङ। भनेपछि त we are lagging behind because of this.
Tell me about no, sorry, please carry on. Tell me about MATO, sir. अलिकति MATO को बारेमा भन्नुस् न, कहाँबाट यो कन्सेप्ट आयो?
MATO को कन्सेप्ट जब म रिटायर भएँ, he has taken over the business about 3.5 years ago, completely. Not only Reliance but other businesses also. My two nephews are also there. So all three of them have taken over everything from me. I've left with no job. They made me jobless. So I thought, let me start something do something for the country and give. This is the time to give back. So I started in village, make them learn how to do organic farming. म एउटा गाउँबाट सुरु गरेर then I started doing it.
कताबाट सुरु गर्नुभयो?
झापामा एउटा रङपुर भन्ने गाउँबाट सुरु गरेको। त्यहाँ
रङपुर, रङ्गेली याद आयो मलाई।
रङ्गेली होइन, रङ्गेली होइन। त्यो त्यहाँबाट सुरु गर्दाखेरि it was very difficult to convince people because this INGO and NGO has done a lot of bad to our country in the sense that they used to go and give one chicken, one goat, one this, one that, and people expect whenever you go, we will get something for free. That is creating a bad habit. So what I told them that, okay, you have to do मेहनत गर्नुपर्छ। म चाहिँ बिउ पनि दिन्छु, सिकाउँछु पनि कसरी गर्ने। अहिले एक क्रप गर्नुहुन्छ, 3वटा 4वटा क्रप वर्षमा कसरी गर्ने, सिँचाइको व्यवस्था छैन भने त्यो पनि गर्ने। Then I started in one village. It was very successful. Then there were a lot of demand, so we reached up to 25 villages, 1,000 people. Farmers were with us. अब प्रोड्युस आयो तर बजारमा बिक्री हुँदैन। उनीहरूको कस्ट भन्दा कममा मान्छ। बन्दा वाज 5 रुपैयाँ 6 रुपैयाँमा बन्दा चाहियो, जबकि उनीहरूको कस्ट 7 रुपैयाँ 8 रुपैयाँ 9 रुपैयाँ छ भने 5 रुपैयाँमा कसरी बेच्ने? कम से कम 10-12 रुपैयाँ त चाहियो नि त। किसानलाई पनि त, जो हाम्रो अन्नदाता छ उसैलाई हामीले भोको राख्यो भने हाम्रो पेट कसरी भरिन्छ? त भनेपछि त माटोको जन्म त्यहाँबाट भयो। द्याट्स हाउ इट हिट मी कि अब मैले किनेर सुरुमा 2-3 महिना उनीहरूसँग 12 रुपैयाँ 20-25% प्रफिट दिएर किनेर त्यही लगेर 5 रुपैयाँमा बेचेँ। आई वाज लुजिङ 25 lakhs rupees a month of our money, Golyan Group's money. एन्ड त्यसपछि आएर त्यो माटोलाई हामीले यहाँ काठमाडौँमा स्टार्ट गऱ्यौँ पहिलो फर्स्ट टाइममा। सुरुमा त प्लान अर्कै थियो, पछि स्टोरहरू गऱ्यौँ। तर स्टोर गर्दा गर्दै यो कोभिड आयो, त्यसले गर्दा अलिकति स्लो डाउन भयो। अब नाउ इट्स गेटिङ ब्याक इन्टु ट्र्याक। त यो माटोको जन्म भएको त्यसैले हो। र यो चाहिँ यो तरकारी र फलफुलको लागि मात्रै होइन। वाट वी आर ट्राइङ टु डु नाउ इज we have already done 122 items are there, agro-processed products like किसानले नै बनाउने गाईको शुद्ध गाईको घिउ किसानले बनाउँछ। अनफर्चुनेटली म एउटा कुरा यहाँ भन्न चाहन्छु, यो चाहिँ यो सबैले मिलेर अब त यसको लागि त के गर्नु पर्यो भनेर म जस्तो मान्छेलाई पनि रिस पनि उठिरहेको छ एकातिर चाहिँ, र एकातिर चाहिँ एकदम फ्रस्ट्रेसन पनि आएको छ। आजसम्म मेरो लाइफमा कुनै काम गर्दा फ्रस्ट्रेसन आएन, यस्तो फ्रस्ट्रेसन आइरहेको छ जसको कुनै हिसाब छैन। कारण के हो भने इम्पोर्टबाट घिउ आयो अथवा कुनै पनि प्रडक्ट आयो कृषिको भने त्यसले इम्पोर्टरले एउटा लेटरको भरमा चाहिँ DFTQC पाउँछ, द्याट इज डिपार्टमेन्ट अफ फुड क्वालिटी कन्ट्रोल होइन, त्यो पाउँछ। तर आजसम्म 1.5 वर्ष भयो माटोले एप्लाई गरेको। के भन्नुहुन्छ भने उहाँहरूले चाहिँ यो लाइसेन्स चाहिँ DFTQC को चाहियो भने तपाईँले इन्डस्ट्री लगाउनुहोस्। माई आइडिया इज नट टु पुट इन्डस्ट्री बाई माइसेल्फ। हाम्रो किसानहरूलाई बलियो बनाउनु पर्यो। दे आर द वान हु हेज टु कम अप। सो फर द्याट दे निड टु प्रोसेस इट। मदेखि लिएर अचारदेखि लिएर दाल चाहिँ स्प्लिट गर्यो भने त्यसको लागि पनि DFTQC चाहिन्छ। हरेक कुराको लागि DFTQC चाहिन्छ। त त्यो नेपालीलाई यति गाह्रो किन बनाएको?
नेपालमा बनेको प्रडक्ट बेच,
नेपालको प्रडक्ट नेपालीले बनायो भने गाह्रो। इम्पोर्टेड प्रडक्ट एउटा यहाँ इम्पोर्टरले इम्पोर्ट गर्यो भने एकदम सजिलो। यो किन गरेको भनेर सोद्धाखेरि त्यसको जवाब यो त हुनै नपर्ने भन्ने जवाब आउँछ। मैले बिचमा डाइभर्ट गरेँ, तर आई एम pouring my frustration.
No problem, sir. No problem.
This is so. What MATO is doing to address these kind of issues, that's my personal thing I'm doing. I mean, lobbying up against these things. At the same time, हामीले यो प्रोसेसिङ गर्न सिकाउनको लागि यो महिलाहरूले उत्पादन गरेको सामान होस् अथवा किसानले गरेको होस्, यिनीहरूलाई चाहिँ लोन दिलाउने सस्तो ब्याजमा, जुन अहिले बिना धितोको लोन दिलाउने सस्तो ब्याजमा, प्लस उनीहरूलाई हाइजिन गरेर कसरी हुन्छ त्यो प्रडक्टहरू सिकाउनेदेखि लिएर अनि तिनीहरूको माल बेच्ने। दिस इज वाट माटो इज डुइङ।
मैले 2टा प्रडक्ट युज गर्छु अहिले भन्नुपर्दाखेरि। अस्ति भर्खर बेसार किनेको थिएँ मैले होइन, त्यो मलाई याद भएको, रिसेन्टली याद भएको, र पानीको कुरा गर्दैछु म अहिले होइन। हजुरले भनेको मलाई एकदम युनिक लाग्यो यो कुरा। मलाई एक्ज्याक्टली अब थाहा नभएर पनि हुनसक्ला होइन, अचम्म लाग्यो मलाई त्यो पनि। नेपालमै बनेको प्रडक्टको लागि हर्डल्स एब्सोल्युटली। हामी आफ्नो लेभलमा जब हामी आफै प्रडक्सन गर्छौँ, रिलायन्सको लेभलमा हामीलाई हर्डल हुँदैन, किनभने त्यो यति छ कि त्यसको मसल पावर यति हुन्छ, त्यसमा प्रब्लम हुँदैन। तर म जस्तो मान्छेलाई यदि गोल्यान ग्रुपलाई यति जसलाई ठुलो इन्डस्ट्रीमा हर्डल हुँदैन भने यो सानो प्रडक्टहरूको लागि गोल्यान ग्रुपलाई नै हर्डल भइरहेको छ भने त्यो एउटा किसानले त्यो बनायो भने त्यसको त भोलि गएर सिज गरिदिन्छ कि तिमीले बिना DFTQC लिएर बेच्यौ भनेर। कसरी चाहिँ देशमा उत्पादन बढ्छ यसरी? यो मेरो क्वेसन हो। यसको लागि त यसको रिस्पोन्सिबिलिटी कसलाई? यही कुरा के गर्न सक्छ भने तपाईँको भ्युअरले के गर्न सक्छ भने ल अबदेखि आजदेखि हामी नेपाली घिउ बाहेक खाँदैनौँ, हामी विदेशबाट आएको घिउलाई हामी टच गर्दैनौँ। यति गरिदियो भने त त्यसपछि त घिउ आउँदैन नि त, इम्पोर्ट आफै बन्द हुन्छ कि हुँदैन? तपाईँ बेसारको कुरा गर्नुभयो अथवा अचारको कुरा गर्नु, अहिले पनि जानुहोस् भाटबटेनीमा हेर्नुहोस् त 100 किसिमको अचार त बाहिरको इम्पोर्टेड छ होइन। हाम्रो जस्तो मह वर्ल्डमा कहीँ पाउँदैन, किनभने द काइन्ड अफ मह र क्वालिटी अफ प्रडक्ट हामी कहाँ छ र भेराइटी सबै हामी कहाँ जस्तो पाउँछ। प्योर अनप्रोसेस्ड हनी, र हनी हाम्रोमा जुन पाउँछ विच इज गुड फर अस। होइन भने त प्रोसेस्ड हनी खाने हो भने त त्यहाँ त sugar content is very high. They have to add sugar. Whether they specify or not, that has to be added. To preserve that needs to be added. Then किन खाने त? त्यसो भए हनी गुलियोको लागि खाने हो त एउटा चाहिँ टेस्टको लागि खाने हो भने हनी किन खाने? त्यसो भए डाइरेक्ट सुगर खाए भइहाल्यो नि। पैसा पनि बढी दिने अनि चाहिँ त्यसको बडीलाई नोक्सान हुने काम किन गर्ने? त्यसो भए त हामी लेट्स ह्याभ सुगर डाइरेक्टली। अब अहिले हिमांशुले ज्याग्री पाउडर बनाउन सुरु गरेको छ होइन। आई विल स्पिक अबाउट द्याट एज वेल। किन हाम्रो तपाईँको उमेरमा त होइन होला, अक्षयको उमेरमा होइन होला, यु गाइज आर नट अवेयर। तर म केटाकेटी हुँदाखेरि हामी चाहिँ सक्कर खाएर हुर्केको, किनभने सुगर वाज नट अभाइलेबल। बट द मोर यु प्रोसेस एनी product, agro product, the more worst it become for health. भनेपछि चामललाई पनि व्हाइट बनायो भने त्यसको सबै बाहिरको
बोक्राहरू सबै निकालिदियो, त्यो ब्रान्ड पनि निकालिदियो भने that's why you guys are eating brown rice today, isn't it? Yeah. So similarly for sugar also it is the same. Brown sugar is better for you. Jaggery powder is the best for you. Even if you have diabetes, in control, if you are taking jaggery powder, is not going to harm your system. So this is what I am trying to tell is, unless we start buying our product, again and again I am reiterating on this, because if we believe and start buying our product, Nepali product, then only we can thrive. Otherwise the imports will keep on increasing.
The thing that I see in Western countries, what I see, which I want to just emphasize, is made in XYZ country. आफ्नै देशमा बनाएकोलाई चाहिँ उता चाहिँ प्राथमिकता दिइन्छ होइन, क्याम्पेनै चलाइन्छ कि उता चाहिँ अब धेरै टाढै जानु पऱ्यो भने छिमेकी मुलुककै हेर्नु पऱ्यो भने क्याम्पेनै चलाइन्छ होइन. यस्तो क्याम्पेन गर्न सकिन्न र क्यान वी जम्प इन एन्ड डु वर्क अन अ क्याम्पेन, बट अगेन in keeping in mind that we have the government on our side.
So like you said, Sanjay, all these countries we visit, you must have visited all the supermarkets, even little corners of malls. They have a made in whichever XYZ country section, which showcases all their products. And they really emphasize, the quality, and then they do the story or how it's made, etc., etc. We have tried with a few of our retail partners in doing that.
I saw Bhat Bhatini doing it.
Yeah, so Bhat Bhatini is our business partner. They distribute MATO. So it works to an extent. It works for some time, and then people, as in people try it out, they like it and they want it, but then they remove it because someone else comes and wants that space for other things and stuff like that. So there is no consistency in this strategy. And one more thing I want to talk about is that my father speaks very passionately about these Nepali products and all of that. I will tell you, it's very difficult because I am not at his experience or his age, but genuinely trying to make a difference in a country is a very big challenge, because people like easy things. People like to people don't want to try out different things, and it's a struggle. I mean, I know the balance sheet of MATO in and out. It's a loss-making company. 3 years, 4 years, it's a complete loss-making company. And my people, my professional CEOs, etc., who are looking after my business strategy, they come and they show me the balance sheet. They're like, why are you doing this? Please put money somewhere else that is profitable. This is on a personal level. And then I have to explain to them that, this is not for making money immediately, or maybe not even eventually. But this is something that we as a family, under the vision of my father, are trying to do to get more people to come and support us. So, we will obviously continue to do this, but what he's trying to get across is that we cannot do it alone. There is no way that we can do it alone. So unless people try to change their perspective, agriculture has already evaporated in Nepal. What we used to produce earlier versus what we produce now, both in terms of quantity and value, has completely evaporated. So it has to change. If we have to protect our people, it has to change.
I will add here. See, what he is saying is right, but entire my life, I have not done any business which will harm the country and which will not give me a kick. In your language I am speaking. And the kick is always comes from a hard work, So at this age also, after retiring, I have taken a challenge of bringing back the days where we were the net exporter in agriculture.
Yeah.
And I will do it eventually. Whether I can do it in 1 year. I will do it in 10 years. That's a different thing. I can do it in 1 year if people help us doing this, and other people also start like what he is saying.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will take few more years, but eventually it will be done. People have started listening now. People have started realizing now that there's no choice. And let me tell you, let me ask you, in fact, what if the pandemic situation would have worsened? Then what would have happened? Any country who is giving you the food, they are dumping the food to your country, would have stopped. They would have to fed their population first, then giving to the other countries.
True.
Isn't it?
Only.
So we have to, do we have a choice? हाम्रो फूड सिक्योरिटी त हामीसँग हुनु पर्यो नि त, अरू कन्ट्रीसँग भएर भएन। यो कुरा यति सिम्पल कुरा हामीले किन बुझ्दैनौँ? यो कुरा जबसम्म हामी बुझ्दैनौँ तबसम्म हाम्रो सिक्योरिटी हुन्छ। त यसमा सरकारलाई दोष दिएर मात्रै हुनेवाला छैन। यो हामी सबैले यो कुरा बुझ्नु पर्यो कि हाम्रो फूड सिक्योरिटी तब मात्रै हुन्छ जब हामी नेपालमा प्रोड्युस गर्छौँ। यसको लागि हरेक मान्छेले कन्ट्रिब्युट गर्नु जरुरी छैन। कन्ट्रिब्युट भन्नाले पैसाबाट बढी पैसा दिएर किन्नु जरुरी छैन। आई एम नट सेइङ दैट इफ यू आर गेटिङ दिस मास्क, imported mask for 10 rupees, you pay 12 rupees. But you please pay 10 rupees for a better product. Similarly, for anything and everything you buy in agriculture, you don't need to pay more. In retail, it is either same price or cheaper. But you need to, problem के छ भने महँगो भयो भने राम्रो हुन्छ। You bought that shirt thinking that that's a good thing. नेपालमा भएको भए maybe you would have not bought that shirt.
I saw made in Nepal after I bought it.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. Absolutely.
The thing I remember कि एउटा चलचित्र हेरेको थिएँ कि मैले हैन, अनि यो चलचित्रको थियो हैन, I don't know how true this is हैन, I saw this thing where Dhirubhai Ambani had said in the movie, right? At the end he said, Guru, you take everything from me. It really doesn't matter. You can come and you can take everything I have, every single paisa that I have. Take it. You can't take one thing from me. That is my himmat. You can't take that away from me.
That is what, exactly. Maybe I am trying to say that.
You got to keep at it. You got to keep at it. Akshay, I'll jump to you.
Yeah.
Again, Bhansani, we have Mount Everest, we've got Lord Buddha, we've got. I'll jump into tourism for this, but before jumping into tourism, I'll jump into one thing that we have that is going to be the biggest asset that we have. That's something that I personally think that we have is we have abundant amount of water resources in our country.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Abundant. Rivers, remember back in the day, we were talking about it, the amount of rivers that we have, more than 6,000 rivers, right? If I'm not mistaken, just double check this. We will be a country where we will have a surplus amount of electricity. That's my layman's term of understanding it. Where do we stand when it comes to hydro? Pawan sir, Akshay, when it comes to hydro, where do we stand right now, and what is the future like?
So water can be used for multiple things. Sanjay, I don't know how many people would know this, but Nepal has the second largest freshwater resource after Brazil in the world.
Yeah.
So water, obviously there are a lot of hydropower projects in the pipeline. We have around 700 megawatts worth of licenses. We have a few under construction.
Pure, Apollo, just to name
Pure is solar,
Oh,
but
sorry, yeah.
Apollo,
Yeah.
then there is Mizu, there Iswa, Balefi, there are multiple. So hydropower, obviously Nepal has a huge potential. That's also an industry per se, which we can obviously export, if that's a different thing, G2G talks or whatever. So Nepal can definitely be a hydropower power, in this region. We have, foreign companies that are coming and, inquiring. They want to invest in hydropower. I think a lot of countries are moving to clean energy. So the requirement, the demand for energy will continue to increase. Now, we don't necessarily have to become a power surplus country. If we get into manufacturing, if things get aligned, on a policy level where they encourage setup of factories, then there will be a huge requirement of power. So we can always, link the production to the consumption and obviously export as well. So that is a very, very good avenue which we are looking at, and we are definitely investing in, and so are a lot of companies. Secondly, you touched upon the MATO water. We have very, very good water. We have very, very good Himalayan natural water.
Yeah.
About yesterday or the day before, this American company contacted me on LinkedIn. They want to distribute our water in Bangladesh and maybe in the US as well. So I have a call with them later on in the week, maybe on Sunday or something. So natural resource wise, water definitely will play a big role in the growth of Nepal's economy. And solar energy as a whole, renewable energy as a whole, there's huge potential in Nepal.
Where does Golyan Group stand when it comes to natural resources and utilizing it, and definitely using it in industries? Where does the group stand at the moment?
So we have like I said, we have 700 odd megawatts in hydro and licenses. We have about, I would say, 200 megawatts under construction. This is in hydro. We have a 20 megawatt project of solar in Nepalganj that is under construction. We have another 40 megawatts that are ready to construct, provided we get the PPAs done. This is in terms of utilizing, I wouldn't say use, I would say utilize the natural resources for the benefit of the country and obviously the larger world. Beyond this, our primary businesses, like my father said, are all aligned with the growth of the country. It's really weird because we discussed this when I'd come back in 2017-18, and I had asked him what he wants to do and how our businesses will take shape over the next 5 years. It's been roughly 5 years since then.
Yeah.
So we're into agriculture, we're into tourism, we're into energy, and we're into export-oriented manufacturing.
Yeah. I want to jump into tourism now.
Yeah.
The hotel looks great. Ad place looks great. How did it start? And again, what are we looking for when it comes to tourism? And what else can we do? I'll add in again the father of tourism. That's what Karna Shaki is called, and he shared with me something that was very unique, which I had no idea about. He said, a lot of people say that it moved from Choche to Thamel. भनेर भन्छन् नि, त्यो एउटा त्यो ट्रान्जिसन भएको थियो कि बसन्तपुरबाट यता थमेलमा. I had asked him and he said, एउटा घर थियो पुरानो हाम्रो, अनि त्यो घरमा चाहिँ हामीले काठमाडौँ गेस्ट हाउस सुरुवात गरेका थियौँ भनेर. थमेलमा त्यो समयमा टोइलेट्सहरू पनि थिएन भनेर उहाँले भनेका थिए कि. And what he had said was, I started it and then I asked everybody I know to come in and start. Come in and start a hotel भनेर हुन्छ नि. That's what he had said, and I liked that about what he had said. And earlier during the conversation, you said that our employees are everything. People who helped us start our industries are everything. And that's what I believe visionary leaders say. They don't say I, me. They stick with we and how we embrace everybody. In tourism, how can we move ahead? Again, I'm going to use this word, faster. How are you going to scale up our tourism faster? What do you think is going to be the right approach in the 21st century?
You're asking me?
Yes, please.
See, I'm of a little bit different opinion here.
Yeah.
What we are doing, we were selling our Mount Everest or selling only 2-3 things, which is popular already.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we have to go beyond that now. For Indian tourists, we have only sold till now is Pashupati, but we have not sold our Janakpur, which is Janki Mandir. After the Ayodhya temple will be ready, Ram Mandir will be ready.
Yeah.
After doing darshan there, it's not completed. It's the Hindu mythology that it's not completed till they come to Janakpur and do the darshan here. So that's one place where we can really do. I mean, unbelievably. Another thing, we went to just a few days ago, we went to Muktinath. We saw a lot of South Indian tourists there. I mean, abundantly South Indian tourists. At least 1,000 people were there in temple at that time. 1,000 people, South Indian tourists in Muktinath is not a small thing. Maybe because that was Naumi, because of that, maybe those many numbers were there. But the infrastructure sucks. From Pokhara, it takes 9 hours to reach there.
Yeah.
So we need to improve upon those kind of infrastructure on one side. Another one is Buddhist tourism. Our Lumbini is the birthplace of Lord Buddha, which I have seen. That's beautiful. Beautiful is not the word. I mean, it's beyond that. It's beyond imagination. And those 69 gumbas, which are the temples, they call it Gumba. 69 Gumbas, out of that, Nepal Gumba is not there. So, and lot of money is there. There is 20 अरब रुपया 2000 करोड रुपया एकाउन्टमा छ बाहिरबाट आएको पैसा त्यसलाई युज गरेको छैन हामीलाई अहिले आवश्यकता छ त्यहाँ 300 होस् 500 फिट होस् लामो मूर्ति बनाउनु पर्यो त्यहाँ वर्ल्डकै बुद्धको सबभन्दा लामो मूर्ति बनाउनु पर्यो त्यो एउटा बनेपछि जसरी तपाईले अहिले काठमाडौँ गेस्ट हाउसको नाम लिनुभयो त्यो एउटा मूर्ति बन्यो भने त्यो हेर्नको लागि मान्छे आउँछ त्यहाँ इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाउनु पर्यो त्यहाँ भित्र यति ठुलो ठाउँ छ त्यहाँ लेट्स मेक अपार्टमेन्ट्स देयर सेल इट on ownership basis to Buddhist people all over the world at 5 times the price because you are doing it inside. That's their holy land. That's the holy land, isn't it? जस्तै example को लागि मक्का मदीनामा तपाईले त्यहाँ चाहिँ एउटा दिनुहुन्छ भने एक टुक्रा पायो भने के हुन्छ त आज भ्याटिकनमा एक टुक्रा पायो भने के हुन्छ त्यस्तै त्यसलाई बनाएर बेच्नु पर्यो के These are the areas. Now our Lumbini airport is ready.
Yeah.
Our Pokhara airport is ready. International airport is ready. त त्यहाँ 10वटा फ्लाइट आयो भने बस्ने ठाउँ छ कोठा छ इन्टरनेसनल स्ट्यान्डर्ड त हुनु पर्यो नि त त्यसको लागि अब सरकारले र हाम्रो अहिले जहाँ हामी चाहिँ अब काठमाडौँमा मात्रै किन फोकस गर्ने काठमाडौँमा होटलहरू अब आउँदैछन् 20वटा अझै होटलहरू आउँदैछन् दोज आर गुड मोस्ट वेलकम अब त्यसपछि चाहिँ फोकस गर्नुपर्ने ठाउँहरू हो भने लुम्बिनीमा धेरैवटा होटल आए तर अझै पनि मैले राम्रो 5 स्टार चेन हेरेको छैन पोखरामा पनि 5 स्टार चेन अझै पनि छैन एउटा नि छैन पोखरा इज अनदर डेस्टिनेसन विच क्यान बी डेभलप्ड लाइक गोवा त्यो बेगनास तालको छेउछाउमा अझै पनि त्यहाँ राम्रो छैन जबकि त्यो हेर्दाखेरि गोवा भन्दा राम्रो छ In every which way, Pokhara is much better than Goa. Then we need to develop all these destinations and everything we cannot put on government's head. Again, I'm reiterating. So our business people, business corporate world has to invest in these areas where the international airports are coming, already there. So we need to invest there now. Our focus should also be there to invest more. Now, if we are coming up with hotel, then in Pokhara, in Lumbini, in places like these. And Lumbini can be alone do about 2 million tourists every day for Buddhist tourism. त्यहाँ धेरै होइन 10,000 अपार्टमेन्ट बनाएर बेच्यो भने इट विल चेन्ज अहिलेको जुन यो ब्यालेन्स अफ पेमेन्टको कुरा गर्छौँ या लिक्विडिटी क्राइसिसको कुरा गर्छौँ त्यो चाहिँ तुरुन्तै सल्भ हुन सक्छ अर्को एग्रो टुरिज्म फरेस्ट एन्ड एग्रो टुरिज्म which is a great thing. I mean, he was in Rwanda just a few weeks ago. Forest tourism and agro-tourism is the great thing in few countries. We have beautiful areas. Why can't we do that?
Can you explain a little bit on this?
So
what you saw in Rwanda?
Yeah, so I went to Rwanda with my wife. What they do is a very simple concept. They have resorts It's not any big brand, but it's run very, very nicely. They hire all the locals. They use all the local produce. Everything is made locally.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's they promote it well. So that's how we got to know about it. And they do natural, walks or treks or village community visits, etc., etc. Even in India, Rwanda is far away. Even in India now, it is being promoted in a massive way in Maharashtra, in Punjab, and Europeans and Americans who come to our part of the world.
Yeah.
They want this. They want to experience, Mount Everest, etc., etc. Not everyone can go. No, I mean, I don't think I will ever be able to go. So a lot of people can't go. So how do they experience, the local culture and the local food? Okay, they come to Kathmandu and they stay for 1-2 days.
Yeah.
But longer stays. So we actually had decided, right before COVID, I'd made a plan to get one of these architects on board to create a small eco lodge in Japa, but then COVID hit, so that plan was put on hold. And then we are now looking at places in Lumbini and Pokhara to open up international standard hotels to cater to the tourists who are going to fly in directly.
Yeah.
So tourism, like you asked, as a whole is actually the one place where Nepal does not have to work so hard. Because we have a lot of natural beauty, we have a lot of things to represent our whether it's culture, whether it's mountains, whether it's agro-tourism, whether it's wildlife like in Chitwan. This is something that Nepal can immediately focus on and immediately become the leader in this region. And we as what we are doing.
Yeah. I will add a little bit on to agro-tourism.
Yeah.
Somebody went to Goa recently. They have a area where they take you as a tourist.
Yeah.
Inside a park where they have how to. They show kanju kasari ugaincha, badam kasari ugaincha देखि लिएर few items which is spices also.
Yeah.
दालचीनी, त्यो कालो खुर्सानी, black pepper, all these things. And then they take for Indians and Nepalis they take 400 rupees. In that they give you lunch also. And once you go there, some Nepali family went.
Yeah.
One of the Sachiv went, and he only told me, नामै भनिदिन्छ नि हाम्रो anyway, I forgot the name. Once it comes, then I will tell you. So उहाँको बच्चाहरू पनि थियो, जान मानेको थिएन, गइसकेपछि यति राम्ररी रमायो. अनि उहाँले मलाई अस्ति भर्खरै भन्नुभयो, तपाईले यस्तो काम झापामा किन गर्नुहुन्न यार? मैले त तपाईलाई यो भन्नको लागि नै तपाईसँग भेट्न खोजेको थिएँ. हाम्रो अहिले पनि एक सिजनमा जब स्ट्रबेरी फार्म ब्लुममा हुन्छ त्यो बेलामा एक गाडीदेखि 2 गाडी हरेक दिन टुरिस्टहरू आइराखेको हुन्छ त्यहाँ हेर्नको लागि. त उनीहरूले त्यहाँ देखाएपछि चाहिँ खाना पनि दिन्छ अनि त्यही प्रडक्टहरू बेच्छ. त यो दिस इज फर दी एन्ड दिस इज बेसिकली फर दी कुइरेहरूको लागि गरेको उनीहरूले हैन. गोवामा त बढी कुइरेहरू नै जान्छ, नेपाली टुरिस्ट गयो ठिकै छ हेर्यो. तर concept is great concept.
Yeah.
And that's not a big deal. धेरै ठुलो पैसा लाग्ने होइन. You can showcase अलिकति बनाएर अलरेडी छ त्यहाँ. हाम्रो त्यो ठाउँमा कमसेकम 30-40 भेराइटीको अलरेडी खेतीहरू त भइराखेकै छ. त त्यो देखाएर त्यसपछि खाना खुवाएर पठायो भने त एन्ड सानो त्यहाँ रेस्टुरेन्ट जस्तो बनाउने, कसैलाई बस्न मन छ भने 2-4 वटा कोठाहरू पनि बनाइदिने भनेपछि त it will be a great starting.
No, it's going to be a fantastic starting. And I'll share a story with Akshay. You were not there that day, no?
Lakshman Naryal.
There you go.
उहाँ अहिले प्रधानमन्त्री कार्यालयमा सचिव हुनुहुन्छ. उहाँले के भन्नुभयो भने म रिटायर भएर म चाहिँ तपाईसँग जोइन हुन चाहन्छु कि केही न केही एग्रो टुरिज्ममा एग्रोमा गरौँ भनेर.
That's an amazing thing. I'll share a story which we were at the same event called Palpali.
Yes.
होइन अनि त्यो दिन चाहिँ एउटा कस्तो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ स्टोरी थियो भने
I was there.
या यु वर देयर एन्ड द्याट्स वाइ आइम शेयरिङ दिस स्टोरी एउटा कस्तो युनिक एउटा स्टोरी भन्नुभएको थियो आई फरगट हिज नेम आई एम स्योर युल शेयर द्याट विथ मी उहाँले के भन्नुभएको थियो भने म चाहिँ अमेरिकामा थिएँ अनि न्युयोर्क आई बिलिभ म न्युयोर्कमा हिँड्दै थिएँ अनि मैले
अर्थ सचिव होइन
हो अर्थ सचिवले भन्नुभएको थियो होइन
मधुमरासनी
ओहो मरासनी सरले भन्नुभएको थियो होइन अनि मैले ढाका टोपी लगाइरहेको थिएँ आई वाज जस्ट वाकिङ अन म हिँड्दै थिएँ होइन आई वाज जस्ट आई अलरेडी ब्रोक द स्टोरी अलरेडी म हिँड्दै थिएँ अनि समबडी केम रनिङ एन्ड सेड यु फ्रम नेपाल हि वाज कन्फ्युज कसरी हाउ डु यु नो आई एम फ्रम नेपाल भन्दाखेरि बिकज अफ your topi, because of your cap. भनेपछि then that is how he was sharing the story of how he really made sure that Palpali got into how the brand had created भनेर होइन. So I want to ask both of you your perspective and your perspective as well. Creating a brand, product त हुन्छ, product त छ, हामीले नेपालकै कुरा गऱ्यौँ अहिले होइन. We've already branded ourselves होइन. How to rebrand and how to polish it, how to make it better. Branding गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ what are the things that you keep in mind, you've kept in mind, even within your group as well. I'll give an example of NMB Bank as well. While you're branding it, the awards that you've received, होइन. Just give a gist of branding from your perspective. And Akshay, I want to hear from your point of view as well.
See, we are not into retail.
Yeah.
We were not into retail. त त्यसैले हामी इन्डस्ट्रियल प्रडक्ट बनाउँदाखेरि ब्रान्डको हामीलाई त्यति ठुलो भ्याल्यु हुँदैन. हामीलाई सर्भिस क्वालिटी र चाहिँ अन टाइम त्यसको बढी भ्याल्यु हुन्छ. तर जबदेखि हामी माटोमा लाग्यौँ, माटो is not yet a brand. I will say we have created a brand, but it will take some time. You will see if after 6 months again, if we are sitting here and talking, maybe by then it will be a brand. So the thing is, it takes a little bit of time, but you need to take care of few things. One is easiness for the people to remember.
Yeah.
The name MATO clicks to everyone. It is something to do with the soil. माटो ल्यान्ड भनेपछि मान्छेलाई धेरै सोच्नु पर्दैन. अब रङ ब्रान्डको बारेमा म एउटा अस्ति एक्जाम्पल आयो त्यसैले भनौँ, अरूको बारेमा नभनौँ होला, छोडिदिउँ त्यसलाई. अब एनएमबीको कुरा गरौँ. एनएमबी हेज स्टार्टेड एज अ फाइनेन्स कम्पनी. सो द फुल नेम वाज नेपाल मर्चेन्ट ब्याङ्किङ एन्ड फाइनेन्सिङ कम्पनी भनेर यस्तो नाउँ थियो. पछि जब ब्याङ्क भयो त वी जस्ट सर्टन इट एन्ड मेड इट एनएमबी ब्याङ्क. अहिले पनि इट्स अ च्यालेन्ज. हामी चाहिँ अर्बन एरियामा वी आर भेरी पपुलर. वी हेभ रिसिभ लट अफ अवार्ड, नट बिकज अफ द ब्रान्ड बट बिकज अफ द भ्याल्यु वाट वी क्यारी फर द ब्याङ्क होइन. तर आज पनि इट्स अ च्यालेन्ज इन द रुरल एरिया to make them understand the meaning of NMB or NMB as a brand. It is very they will either say NIBL or they will say Nabil or something like that. Now they started understanding slowly and gradually. You have to really work it hard. So I will not say that NMB brand, to keep the name NMB was a great idea. It wasn't. त्यो ब्रान्ड बनाउँदाखेरिको कुरा मैले भने, त्यो बेलामा जब ब्याङ्क बन्यो त्यो बेलामा एउटा सिम्पल नेम कुनै राखेको भए त्यो चाहिँ राम्रो हुन्थ्यो भन्ने कुरा. कलरले पनि धेरै फरक पर्छ ब्रान्डमा. दिस इज आई एम टेलिङ यु फर योर भ्युअर्स. त्यो ब्लू, त्यो अलिकति डल ब्लू भएको हुनाले त्यहाँ पनि त्यो मान्छे हाइवेमा गाडीमा कुदिराखेको हुन्छ भने यु विल क्रस थ्रु द्याट. त्यही कम्पेरिटिभली एनआइसी एसियाको हेऱ्यो भने त्यो ब्राइट रेड कलर हुने बित्तिकै दे विल कनेक्ट इजिली. अर येलो कलर सिद्धार्थ ब्याङ्कको छ अथवा अरू कुनैको त्यस्तो होला भनेको मैले एक्जाम्पलको रूपमा भने. त त्यो ब्रान्ड बनाउँदाखेरि त्यो एउटा कुरा भयो. हो, भ्याल्यु टुडे वाइ वी रिसिभ द अवार्ड, हाउ वी स्टार्टेड टु गेट टु द्याट इज बिकज वी हेभ स्टार्टेड डुइङ 2-3 थिङ्स. वान, पैसा कमाउनको लागि त पक्कै हो, तर अघि जस्तै भने नि, यु टेक यर अलङ फर्स्ट अफ अल यर ह्युमन क्यापिटल, That's number one. Then your customers. That's also very important. For bank, your customers are God. Any business. For any business, customers are the God. उनीहरू satisfy भयो भने automatically your business will grow. And मलाई लाग्छ पक्कै पनि एनएमबी को कन्ट्रोभर्सीहरूमा कहीँ पनि नाउँ छैन, कहीँ पनि आउँदैन, एकदमै सानोतिनो आयो भने भन्न सकिँदैन, तर त्यो छैन कहीँ पनि. र we are 100% compliance bank. कुनै पनि law भयो केही भयो भने, plus how we are helping the for women empowerment. आज हामीले 3000 भन्दा बढी यो सहुलियतपूर्ण कर्जा 10 वटा कर्जा हरेक ब्याङ्कले हरेक ब्रान्चबाट दिनुपर्छ भन्ने राष्ट्र ब्याङ्कको आयो, तर त्यो भन्दा हामीले धेरै बढी दियौँ. त्यसमा पनि महिलाहरूलाई बढी दियौँ. त्यो उनीहरूले हेर्छ. जसले यो अवार्डहरू दिन्छ उनीहरूले हेर्ने यही हो. गाउँमा हामीले कृषिको लागि कतिको गरेको छौँ, कसरी गरेको छौँ त्यो हेर्छ. हाम्रो सीएसआर फन्डलाई हामीले कहाँ युज गरेको छौँ, त्यसको इम्प्याक्टफुलमा गरेका छौँ या कसैलाई खुसी पार्नको लागि गरेका छौँ भन्ने कुराहरू हेर्छ. त्यसपछि हामीले हाम्रो कर्मचारीलाई कसरी डिल गरेका छौँ, उनीहरूको फ्यामिलीलाई कसरी डिल गरेका छौँ, हामीले कतिको के इम्प्याक्ट गरेका छौँ, हामीले कन्ट्रीको लागि के गरेका छौँ र भ्याल्यु बेस्ड ब्याङ्किङ गरेको छन्. हामी कम्प्लायन्समा कस्तो छौँ. कम्प्लायन्स भनेको एउटा त यहाँको नेपालको कन्ट्रीको कम्प्लायन्स भयो, एउटा इन्टरनेसनल कम्प्लायन्स भयो. अब जस्तै हाइड्रो पावरमा लोन दिँदाखेरि सोसल इम्प्याक्ट के छ, इन्भाइरोमेन्टल इम्प्याक्ट के छ, त्यति सुद्धा हेर्ने. कुनै पनि बिजनेस, आज हामी कुनै रक्सीको बिजनेसको लागि हामी पैसा दिँदैनौँ. वी विल नट फन्ड फर दोज काइन्ड अफ प्रोडक्ट. चुरोटको इन्डस्ट्री आयो भने हामी पैसा दिँदैनौँ. त यस्तो हाम्रो कभनेन्टहरू हामीले आफैले लगाएको छ, अरू कसैले होइन. यो राष्ट्र ब्याङ्कले त रोकेको छैन या अरू कुनै पनि निकायले रोकेको छैन, हामीले आफ्नो कभनेन्ट लगाएको. दिज आर द थिङ्स वेयर you have to control yourself. You have to restrain yourself doing things which allure you to be done, but then you create a value-based banking. That's what it is called. Yeah. That's why we are the only one bank in Nepal which is affiliated with Global Alliance of Value-Based Banking, GAVP, something like that. So this is the reason. This is not the branding, but this is the how you run the business. Another thing is, we as a board, we don't interfere to day-to-day business or interfere with the management. That's what we do in banks as well as in other businesses where 100% Golyan Group is owned business also. We don't interfere on day-to-day basis. We only interfere when we feel that there's a need.
Yeah.
Or the policies are not, taken properly not implemented.
I like the values that you've set, the boundaries that you've set in terms of not just the banking values and boundaries, but, in all the major aspects of the business as well. You want to jump into this and share a little bit about what you think moving ahead, he's decided he's going to retire and move into other things.
I have already retired. Believe me, please. Come and see. He will tell more.
So I think the values that he was talking about and the thought process, it's instilled in all our companies. Yeah. And in order to create a brand or a name, okay, name is important, color is important, all of these factors are very important. And then, you can have some promotional strategies, social media, offline, online, whatever. All of that, you will get the customer to try your product or service once.
Exactly.
Retaining them is a whole different challenge. Retention is how a brand is made or destroyed. And for that, what we do as a company is ensure quality, ensure service, ensure fair practices, and then someone who comes tries your product or service they then become the spokesperson of your brand. Whether it's a customer or even an employee or even a vendor or even a external partner, as long as their experience with your company has given them some sort of happiness or some little value, that okay, they got the payment from our company in time, they didn't have to haggle too much, just any positive experience, then they become the spokesperson of your brand, whatever it may be. So that is the key factor in building and retaining and growing a company or a brand, for me.
No doubt on that. We talked about the first generation. We talked about second generation. Now we'll talk about the third generation. How does it feel, Akshay? How does it feel to go ahead and have your dad and your grandfather's legacy continue with that? How does it feel?
So it's I see, I'm very fortunate, and most people in my generation who have this sort of platform and guidance and advice and a lot of things to learn and knowledge transfer. So we are very fortunate in many ways. At the same time, it's challenging. Also, they have been highly successful in their time. I would say whether it's my grandfather who pioneered industry and all of that in Nepal in the 60s, or whether it's him who created an industry like Reliance Spinning. So it is a big challenge also to continue that legacy. But at the same time, it's very rewarding. So for me, how I can contribute again that ecosystem, which starts from immediate stakeholders, which is your family, your employees, then customers, then partners, then society at large, then country at large, then the world at large. So this is the thought process that at least my family and my cousin brothers have as well. And it's a mixture of everything. It's a challenge. It's rewarding. Sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes it's very uplifting. It's a whole set of feelings, but we enjoy it. We enjoy it, and for me, the best part is when I see our product, our service, or our people, smiling from any one or two experiences. So that for me is what I work for.
Earlier, you said that you'd failed in a business.
Yeah, I failed in many businesses, not just one. Yeah.
Failure definitely teaches us.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, failure definitely teaches us a lot. How did you take it? How did you take it when you failed?
It was a long time ago. For me, it was just actually, to be very, very honest, it was something I tried to not stay in Nepal. I just wanted to leave at that time. So my friend came up with an idea. It was a tech hospitality company, and I was not really very focused at that time as well. But no, we fail. I fail. Almost every day here as well. Whether it doesn't have to be failing on a balance sheet, or it doesn't have to be a massive failure. Sometimes you make decisions that are not the best decisions, and it happens every day. As long as you keep your head up and you learn from it. And the knowledge you gain from it, you apply it in the future. It's. I think failure, like you said, is the greatest teacher, as long as you can understand the reason why it happened and then, evolve from it.
Yeah, no doubt. Pawan sir, हार के रहेछ त. हार के रहेछ त. To lose, to fail, to fail in something, to keep on.
No, I have also failed in quite a few businesses in between. There's no question about that. And हार्नु भनेको कुनै हार हुँदै होइन. त्यसबाट नै जित्न सिक्नु पर्यो. And once you are, I have seen 2008 when everything has melted down. I have seen 2000 when there was an anti-dumping duty on Reliance Spinning Mill. Our export was completely stopped.
Yeah.
I've seen when India-Nepal treaty was in, it was back in 96 or 94, something like that. I don't remember exactly. So I've seen a lot of ups and downs, But honestly speaking, My father gave me to run independently when I reached my age of around 28, 29. And I gave him the same thing when he was ready. The day he was ready, I gave him the entire. I didn't even think twice that, okay, I have to keep my saying. So this is what your best age to take over is around 30. This is what I feel. Because this is also the reason when you can be successful. I tried to give to my nephew also, but he was not ready to take all the decision, all the everything. So Akshay came up and he said he is ready to take. I have to balance between my two nephews and him as well. So I always say I have three sons.
Yeah.
So because he is the youngest and he becoming leader was I was a little scared on that part. But see, once you take the responsibility, it's a thankless job.
Yeah.
It's a thankless job. There's no doubt about it. And I have gone through my life, entire life, with the rest of the family, and because bashing will definitely you will be, appreciated also. Then bashing also you have to take. Similarly, what he said just now is like you have to really take it. Sometime you have to really take it what you have not done for also.
Yeah.
So success and failure is two part of the coin, like two part of the coin. So
You talk about the 4 pillars, right?
yeah,
What are
Of
the 4
course.
pillars? What are the 4 pillars?
four pillar is very simple. One is your family life.
Yeah.
One is your social life. One is your business, and one is your personal life. Personal life means what you really want to do. Like it depends on time to time. For me, like I love to sleep whenever I get the chance. Entertainment can be anything. I mean, depending on if you love music, it can be music for you, or movies or whatever. So this is 4 pillars. You have to balance. It is very difficult. That's what I was telling just now also. This 4 pillars, balancing these 4 pillars when you are the leader of your family in business. You are leading business person in your family. Then you have to, make everyone happy.
Yeah.
That is the most difficult thing to do. And for him I can understand because I have gone through, so I can understand. It will be difficult for him to do that. And on his head, even I am there on his head. So sometimes it could be challenging for him as well.
Akshay, one thing that a lot of now I've come to realize this as well. My team is going to be watching this as well. I have a very small team that I work with. And once you work with other people, once you're leading, like Pawan sir just said, there comes a sense of responsibility of making sure that the team is taken care of as well, regardless of the hurdles. They become your family. You like it or not,
Yeah, of
they
course.
automatically become your family.
Yeah.
They are a part of your
Absolutely.
life, and you will make sure that they are taken care of, regardless of whatever happens with the business, with the country, with the world. You make sure that they're taken care of. When it comes to, I'm not gonna say employees. I'm gonna try to go ahead and use the word of the people
Team
who are
members.
exactly
Yeah.
team members. The people who are helping you excel with the
Yeah.
business. How do you and how will you move ahead when it comes to that?
So, Sanjay, traditionally what happens is that whether it's a director or an owner, I would say, they like to retain a lot of control, and sort of get too many things, and get into the nitty gritty of things. What he's done very well in NMB, and what I'm also trying to do here, is that we create a framework and we do reviews with the team members, but on a day-to-day, on an operational level, they have full authority in making decisions. So it gives them a sense of empowerment as well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's, that they just become a medium for execution, and they don't apply, or they don't get to apply their own thoughts. So you have to allow them to make some mistakes as well. Everyone is human. I can make mistakes. He can make mistakes. Everyone can make mistakes. But as long as, they are also learning and they're also getting encouraged, I think what happens is that sense of belongingness,
Yeah.
more than the monetary aspect of it, or more than the compensatory aspect of it, they start feeling like it's their company. And this is the culture we have instilled in Reliance, and we're trying to instill in other organizations as well, is that we take care of them in a way that it is their company, and we have just invested in the company, and they are running it and managing it day to day. So more than us, actually, on a day-to-day basis, there are so many examples wherein they feel the pain. And sometimes when he says we have to interfere, we have to tell them, okay, don't be so hard on an external vendor, or
Yeah.
all of this, because then they tend to take it a little bit. So we just sort of guide them, in their growth journey, because they have to grow in their careers, and learn and contribute to themselves as well. That's the only way.
A lot of entrepreneurs watch the show, I'm sure, are listening right now at the moment. Retention is very hard.
Nepal is very, 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 very difficult. Very difficult.
How was back in the day? I just want to jump into this sponsor. How was back in the day, back when you were starting off? How was the retention? And again, त्यतिखेर त अब दुबई कतार जाने अथवा कतै जाने हुन्छ नि होइन, लेबर एक्सपोर्ट हुने त थिएन होला त्यो समयमा होइन, एक हिसाबले भन्नु पर्दाखेरि
त्यो हाम्रो रिलायन्स सुरु हुँदाखेरि त अलिअलि सुरु भइसकेको थियो
हो
लेबरको जहाँसम्म कुरा छ। र फर स्टाफ्स अल्सो, आई मिन फर white collar also, there was the thing is, we have people who are there with us for last 25, 30 years, 40 years. A reason is what Akshay said. I want to little bit elaborate on that. You give them all the sense of belongingness and sense of empower them. The moment they are empowered, they feel like they are the owner of the company. The moment you can do that, then they are not going to leave you. Unless it is a huge, huge difference in their remuneration.
Yeah.
Like if it is even 20, 30, 40% more also, they will not leave you. Because they know that they are not going to get that kind of platform or situation in other companies. And people who has gone also has regretted being gone, and then they want to come back. We don't take them back mostly, because once they are gone, then that means after coming back again they can go. So that's a different thing. But they start enjoying the power.
Yeah.
The moment you really have power, and you can, he said very correctly, you can start applying your mind, you can start delivering, then you become, once most of the people who has gone from us became entrepreneur.
Yeah.
They became entrepreneur. Because entrepreneurship training, normally what happens, whether you give them salary of 1 million, 2 million a month also, you don't let them grow.
So there's because he said about the entrepreneur, I know this story, although I wasn't there that time. There was a person, I'm not going to name him, but he used to work with my father in marketing in Reliance.
Yeah.
Today he owns, I think it's a $300 or $400 million company. He is based out of Bangladesh. He has 2 factories in Bangladesh. He has 1 factory in Spain. And he's got a huge brand of jeans, denim.
Awesome.
And it's really incredible. It was only, I think, 12 or 15 years ago that they were working together, and he always refers to my father as his mentor, who taught him sales and marketing, and that's why he was able to grow that brand.
He was a technical guy,
and
he was very interested to become the part of the team of marketing. So when he was there, so and another thing is, when they do mistake, everyone does mistake. There's no anything wrong about that.
Yeah.
But you need to, and you should not scold your people.
Yeah.
That you only scold when they are doing something which is not allowed to do. I mean, if they are doing mistake, then you have to tell them after they have done mistake. You just make them realize their mistake. That's about it.
Yeah.
Rest, you don't need to do anything. The more you scold, the more it's not good for you. It's not good for the company.
Yeah.
That means it is not good for you.
Yeah.
So it's better refrain from doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
People
Beautifully put.
retention actually in Nepal, Sanjay, what happens is, he said that we have people with us for 30 years or
Yeah,
40
yeah.
years. See, who have stayed in a company for 10 or 15 years, they understand the culture, they understand the promoters, they understand the system, and they will say what happens right now in Nepal.
Yeah.
And everyone says this, whoever I meet, they all say that retention is becoming a big challenge. It's because I think today's youth, and I will just limit it to the youth, they want to try out different things. Everyone wants to become an entrepreneur.
True.
So they want to learn by going to various companies and getting into different businesses. So that happens. But what I would say is that for companies like us or other companies to retain them, you have to show them a career path, and you have to really talk to them. What happens is we make people very robotic. That you come, you do this, and then you go. Spending time, and I have learned this. I have learned this through my team. And they come to me and they say, you have to spend more time with us. You can't just talk
Yeah.
about work. You have to ask people who you're.
Why don't you tell about the retreat also?
Yeah, retreats. I mean, all companies do retreats. We do a more interactive retreat wherein we have team building activities. A lot of companies do that.
Yeah.
And then we have a lot of, because we are into different businesses and not a lot of people interact with each other, we allocate teams according to different businesses.
Yeah.
And we have, other programs, and we have to call it employee engagement programs. And we have learning and development programs. See, the one thing that Nepal, again, is a little behind in terms of Western countries or other countries is that we don't really train our technical, yes, but in people management, in investing in people.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean monetary investment. Investing time and skills
Yeah.
in people is very, very critical.
And so you were saying?
You have to make a visit to Biratnagar airport, that is, and go to Reliance. Have
Definitely.
a look at Reliance.
Definitely.
Once you see that, then you will understand how people are retained and why people are doing that. Go with Akshay. You will see that you go and have food in the labor canteen. You see that the kind of canteen we have, the kind of facilities there for the labor, the kind of hostel they have. So all these things makes a huge difference, even for staff. I mean, you go to their canteen, see, and also see the how they are staying, because this is their life. That they are here from different part of Nepal. There are the staffs are also technical staff is from India as well. So they are there. They have left their home and came here, and even Nepalese from different part of Nepal, they are staying there.
Yeah.
So that's their home. You don't make them feel that they are staying in a guest house. It has to be their home.
Yeah.
So you have to give that feeling of a home. The moment you do that, retainership is much easier then. So that's where you have to touch their heart.
I'll share a story. I love sharing stories of friends who've been to the podcast, because personally I feel so lucky that I get to do this and hear stories, A businessman came to the podcast, and what he shared, I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. He said he carries his card everywhere whenever he travels internationally. And especially when he goes to Middle East and he meets somebody. Let's say he meets somebody of a Nepali origin who is working there, hands out his card and goes like,
Come
come
back.
and meet me. You know, again, he's very busy, but come meet me and then come work for us. I'll pay exactly what you're getting paid here, probably more. You know, and that is something that I found very interesting. And again, if it's okay with you, I would say the same for your business as well. Come back and work for one of your companies.
You know, I have a story like that. So
Yeah.
I was visiting, I don't remember exactly where, maybe somewhere in the Middle East, and they have a lot of,
A lot.
very smart, intelligent Nepali, skilled people there, right? So I went there, and I think it was in service. So I asked him, Nepal bada hununcha? He said, yeah, I'm from Nepal. He was speaking English to me. Okay, so
Yeah.
I said, why don't you come back? यहाँ किन काम गर्ने त्यहाँ किन नगर्ने होइन नेपालमा त्यस्तो स्यालेरी पाइँदैन त्यहाँको यस्तो त्यस्तो हुन्छ. I said, when you're visiting Nepal next time for your holiday, you come home, right? He said, म अब 1-2 महिनामा फर्किन्छु. I said, come to my office and you see. If you like it, you stay. He came, he met me. He's working at the hotel right now.
Beautiful.
So we have these success stories, of bringing people who want to come back home, but they have this mindset that, they won't get this opportunity in Nepal. And sometimes there is actually opportunity in Nepal.
Yeah, no doubt on that. Towards the end, I want to ask Pawan sir, so for a lot of friends right now who are listening to the show at the moment, कहाँबाट सुरु गर्ने त? Where do we begin from? Where do we start from? It's not just about trying to get a loan from the bank. It's not just about trying to get loans from a friend or from your parents. It's that initial step. People have ideas. Trust me, people have tons of ideas. Just that spark. Where any piece of advice that you'd like to give, and then Akshay, I'll jump into you as well. Any piece of advice you'd like to give?
See, you are asking the right person. I tell you why. Because what I am doing for these young people who want to be entrepreneur, wherever I go to programs, interviews or anywhere, I go to the colleges on their graduation also. I go to different programs also. The other day I was speaking on this TEDx also.
Yeah.
So I said, if you are really interested and if you have an idea which can be converted into business, come to me. And I will say the same thing now, that through you they can come to me. Your viewers can come to me. You have to do a little bit of
Sure, we will.
work.
We will.
And bring them to me in a group. First in a group, whatever, 10, 15, 20. And then once I sit with them for 2-3 hours, then we can, make a smaller group as required. And I will guide them, for sure. There's no question. The thing is, what I will suggest to your larger viewers who cannot come to me is, number one, they really have to be passionate before what they really want to do is, passion is one thing.
Yeah.
Hard work is another thing. And enjoyment is the most important thing. If you are doing just for the heck of it, the way Akshay said, I wanted to be away from Nepal, that's why I did that. That's why it failed.
Yeah.
Had it been his, no matter what, I have to make it successful, he would have been successful. But thank God that he failed. So that he came back and I got retired and I can do for the youth of Nepal. So the question is, you have to really be passionate. You have to really, sleep with it, eat with it, bathe with it, everything,
Yeah.
That's very important. And I know for the people who are the first time entrepreneur in their family, then they need a holding hand in the beginning. Don't go for a very big industry, very big ideas. Ideas look very great on the paper also. but reality is totally different. So what I suggest, that they should get together, 3 or 4 of them, at least one from marketing, one from accounts and other thing who can take care of the business, and one is from the little bit maybe technical side if it is an industry.
Yeah.
Depending, or IT if it is IT related, one has to be. I mean, within you have to have all the expertise. In the beginning, you cannot hire a person, highly paid person.
Yeah.
So you really have to work hard, and if you get together within your friends group or like-minded people, you should do that. And then if the idea is great, definitely 90% of the chances will be success will be there, depending on your hard work.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day,
End of the
you
day.
have to work hard.
You have to work hard and don't give up. If the problem will keep on coming, you have to face it from the front. And once you start making money, then you start taking the risk. In the beginning, with your parents' fund or bank's fund or anybody's fund, you take small risk.
Yeah.
Start small. Then jump in. Don't look at, when I started, even with my father, I told you,
Yeah.
I've already told you, I started my career with those small machines, but big turnover. So the fixed investment, which can be a dead investment, was very minimal. My raw material I can convert to the finished product. Even if I sell, I will lose a little less money. I'm not saying that will fit in today's world.
Yeah.
But you can have anything which is like, even if you, like, if somebody is setting up, they don't need to make like a podcast studio. They don't need so many cameras in the beginning.
No, they don't.
They can start with one camera.
Yeah.
They can start with a small room where, not so beautiful room. So similarly,
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to tell is, don't go for showing off.
Yeah.
You invest in the technology or what you are going to do. If it is IT related, invest in that. If it is an industry, then invest in machinery, rather than making a good air conditioned room. Maybe you defer the air condition for later stage.
Yeah.
You don't paint the walls. You come and see the Reliance even today. There are few walls, there is no plaster at all. Even now, after 26 years, you will say, why you have done that? So that is how, it's not to show off.
Yeah.
It is to create something, so be minimal expenses in that.
That's beautifully put. Minimalistic, huh, Akshay?
Yeah, I think he's covered most of it. I would just reiterate that follow your passion and don't look what your friend or what your family or what XYZ is doing.
Yeah.
Just identify what you like doing and invest in your passion and what you're good at. If you do that, if you enjoy it, like he said, it's very rare that you will not put your 100%. And if you put your 100%, you put your hard work. And if you still fail, then, you just keep try again. But at least, your conscience will be clear
Yeah.
that you like this, you enjoyed this, you put your 100%. If sometimes it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You go again.
Yeah, no doubt.
But don't waste time. Don't waste
Oh.
time following what someone else is doing, looking at left, right, and center. I have wasted time, so I can
We
tell
all have.
from my own experience. So yeah, that's all.
We all have.
When you said this, I remembered Miraya.
Oh, my niece.
So I was laughing. My granddaughter,
Yeah.
she's 9 years old.
Yeah.
She says, "Don't waste my time."
So if you don't answer her question immediately
Yeah.
or give the answer she wants, she just says, "Don't waste my time," and she walks away. And she's 9 years old.
It's a different world now.
It's a different world now, very different.
It's a completely different world. Trust me, it's a completely different world.
Yeah.
Right at the end, Akshay, moving forward, Golyan Group, anything new that you're working on? Any pet projects that you have that people
No,
need
so
to know?
we are consolidating and we are growing the 4 verticals we're in.
Yeah.
Again, agriculture, tourism, manufacturing, and energy. And we are obviously we are always constantly looking out for opportunities or something new where which is again aligned with the growth of the country, and something that is different that will only add value to our people and our country. Beyond that, we already have so much on our plate, so it's a little difficult to just add things unless it's something that is truly a game changer.
Yeah.
So we are focused on what we are doing right now.
Well, great, and we're really happy, and I hope we get out of the crunch very, very soon, and we get back on track. Pawan sir, anything you want to add right at the end?
Regarding the new project, I just want to say something.
Yeah.
I'm trying that even I have not discussed with Akshay because I feel that I can do a lot of things which will help the youth as well as the future entrepreneur as well as the investor. What everybody is investing is in share market or limited areas where we have. I want to create a maybe 500 crores company where it will only invest in agriculture.
Beautiful.
Where we will do at least 1,000 crore of export and agro processing industry as well as contract farming, and we will do some farming within our this one also. So this one I want to create something like in the beginning you mentioned about Dhirubhai Ambani.
Yeah.
What he did was once he was successful, what he did for his shareholder, I want to replicate that in Nepal. So this time in this company, it will be a debt-free company. 100% will be a equity, no debt at all, and then we'll do this. And surely it will be a great profit-making company. I want to do one first, try it out, not for 500 crores, maybe 100 or 150 crores. Once it is successful, then create more like that.
Have you decided what you're going to call it? नाम सोच्नु भएको छ?
नाम त अहिले सोचेको छैन. नाम त अब कुनै न कुनै राखौँला. त्यो त it has to be within the companies we have, or maybe like offshoot of Golyan Agro or something like that.
Yeah.
But this will be a company, the first company, wherein I want to show that not only show, but I want to make that company to show that agriculture is a profitable business. And definitely if I am taking the money, the public money, I'll make sure that this will be successful, 100% successful. Then we have in pipeline, which is also, in the textile industry. This is my, I have grown with the textile. Yeah. My first business was textile, and even now our main business is spinning. So the missing area is the finishing, because we are making best of the yarn.
Yeah.
There are a lot of companies who are making best of the fabric, and the garment industries are doing extremely good business and good product they are making. But the missing is the fabric produced by the Nepalese industry is not processed and finished properly, so that the garment industry is not using it. Otherwise, we can have a value addition of 800%. Mm-hmm. Even if we import the cotton, or if we can grow the cotton in Nepal, we can export like Bangladesh. So that one part is missing. So my idea is to restart the Hetoda Textile Udyog, which is owned by the government. I have already submitted a proposal. This will be, again, all the Lubu Thaibu manufacturer of the textile who are already doing it. plus all the garment industries, the hosiery industries, they will be the shareholders. I will be a minor shareholder because they trust me so that I bring them along, and we will run it professionally, this company. Of course, I need the help of
There you
Akshay.
go. I'm looking at Akshay right here.
No, this is new to me, so even I'm listening.
So I need his help because that's where a little bit of his time will I will ask for his time. So once we do this, this will be again about 1,000 shareholders will be there from the industry itself.
Yeah.
So those are the promoter shareholders. Of course, we will give to the public. Again, in this, definitely the loan will be there, and we have asked the government to give a soft loan for this. And once this is done, this will change. This will be a game changer. We can create 200,000 jobs.
Exactly,
after
I was
2
coming to
years.
that.
Yeah. Every year, 200,000 jobs every year. And what we are importing more than $1 billion, $1.5 billion worth of textile we can manufacture here. And like Bangladesh exporting $50 billion, we can at least export $1 or $2 billion. So this is what I want to do for the country, not looking at the monetary benefit, but for compiling people together so that this is taken over by somebody else. And I hope my friends or corporate groups start doing something like this. Not for for themselves, but for the country.
Beautiful. Beautifully kept. Akshay, what do you think of that?
No, I think he's a serial entrepreneur, and he's always thought of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And that's why, we have been able to contribute in whatever little way that we are currently.
Yeah.
And I think it's a wonderful idea, and I hope
you are aware. I'm sure you are aware that we are the largest exporter of this country.
Of course, I know that.
10-11% alone.
Of course, I know that, sir.
And just before we sign off, I request to your viewers that please love their country, not by saying that I love you. Start buying Nepali product. Nepali wear and Nepali लगाऊं र Nepali खाऊं.
गजबको कुरा र म यसैबाट मलाई पनि यसैबाट अन्त्य गर्नु मन थियो and I'm super excited. So I'm super excited for the new ventures that you're working on, even though semi-retired.
Never retired.
I'm fully retired. I'm fully retired as far as Golyan Group.
Yeah.
So I'm not working for Golyan Group now. I will work for the people.
Beautiful, sir. It was a pleasure having you here, and Akshay, it's a pleasure having you here. And again, more progress. Plus, I want to end by saying more power to both of you. More power to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you very much.
Definitely, it was pleasure speaking to you, though it was quite long. Huh?
It takes time. Well, we take time, so we take time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so
very
much for having us.
Thank you.
If you love what we are doing, make sure that you subscribe and turn on notifications.
This program is brought to you by Vyas Studios.
Thank you very much for watching us on YouTube. Make sure that you also listen to us on Spotify.